forgiveness doesn't mean that I restore relationships. So we can get somewhat rid of some of those lies. My dad was an a-hole. My mom was distant. You don't have to go build a brand new, beautiful relationship with him,
Yeah.
but you shouldn't be the judge and the jury because you have that.
Mm.
God created that for you. And you ultimately want to come to a place where I went through a divorce in my life, and my wife had an affair on a good friend of mine, and she got pregnant and left me. And so I was a single dad for 5 years. And I remember at first, I just wanted justice so bad. I wanted to go, honestly, I wanted to kill him. And I wanted to harm them both. I mean, this is just my natural instinct.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting on my bed and just thinking like, God, I want to get back at them so bad. And God said to me, there's no justice in a broken life. I didn't fully understand
Mm.
it. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, if you go and harm her, how does that affect your kids? How does that ultimately solve the problem? If you go and harm him, how does that solve the problem? How does that actually get justice? And he said, real justice is in getting what I paid for, which sounds really churchy, but it's actually the only way that I win. And I realized the only way that I win is if I pray for the reconciliation of their soul, of their spirit, of their body, of their personhood. That's the only way that I win. Whatever he paid for on the cross, how I win, how I actually get justice is all the things that he redeemed me from. I want
Mm.
redemption for them. Of course, I had a lot of feelings and emotions, lots of days that I was,
Mm.
F you, I hate you, how dare you, in my journal, processing
Mhm.
pain. But when we get really good at processing pain and having a framework for it, all of a sudden you're not afraid of life. I can take this risk. I know how to process.
Mm.
If you know how to fall, you're not afraid to jump. If you don't know how to fall, you're always afraid to jump. So to me, it's like, it's back to guys,
Mm.
how do you gain control of your life? Who's the strongest man in the room? The guy that can share his emotions, the guy that can show up to pain, the guy that can be present, or the guy that has to avoid it all? That's just the bottom
Yeah.
line. What is freedom?
Yeah. How and somebody had said something to me in a conversation recently when they left religion and joined relationship with God. It gave them the ability to take risk, which is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Similarly, is that once you can process pain and really ultimately you allowed yourself to be fathered by God instead of forging your own path, which would have led to more destruction,
Yeah.
which is bonkers and hard and difficult. But just like you said earlier, if you are doing that based on your emotion and your feelings, you're going to forge a path that is not healthy for you. Where if you're allowing yourself to be fathered, then when you are in those moments of like the worst possible thing that could happen, you have a father there who is willing to walk you through the pain to do his ultimate work, which is the reconciliation of all things here, which is like awesome to talk about and super sucky to be a part of at such an intense level.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think like what we all want is a life where have a lot of peace, where we're in control, where we feel really powerful.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
and that to me is I have a really clear way of processing pain. My past isn't dictating my future, right?
Mhm.
I'm working out of the things that were holding me back. I have a healthy outlook on risk, and
Mm.
I have control of my will and my emotions. I know how to listen to them, but they're not driving the car. And I can hit the targets that I want to hit. I mean, I don't. It's a really simple life, guys. I think any guy, you're like, okay, that's what Jesus wants for you. That's what God wants for you. That's how we're supposed to live. I mean, this life is supposed to be so much easier, so much simpler than I think often what we make it.